Back in December, I wrote an article about Blastfest, a heavy metal festival in Norway that was the target of a boycott by Antifa groups. I really urge you to go check out that article before you watch this video. You can find a link in the description below. The reason for the boycott was that Blastfest had booked the band Peste Noire, an infamous French black metal band that has been accused repeatedly of neo-Nazism and racism.
La venue du groupe métal Peste Noire inquiète le rap à Limoges. En cause, un nationalisme assimilé à l'idéologie néo-nazie selon le mouvement contre le racisme.
First, the Antifas got in touch with Napalm Death, who dropped out of the festival because they didn't want to share a stage with what they called a nationalist band. Then, they targeted the venues, the hotels, the catering companies, basically everyone who was working with the festival, who then pressured the festival itself to drop Peste Noire. With the choice being either dropping the band or having no festival whatsoever, the organizers dropped Peste Noire from the bill. The point that I made in the article, and which I really thought was obvious, was that boycotts against bands set a bad precedent. The ideology of Peste Noire, and which I present in excruciating detail in the article, was irrelevant to me. If there are people who want to listen to them and who don't have a problem with their idiotic pseudo-nihilist racism, and which actually isn't even evident in their music, then that should be enough to justify their presence in the festival. As a customer, I have the right not to go. I can choose not to buy their CDs, not to buy their merch, and not to listen to their stuff. It's that simple. What I don't have the right to do is to make sure that those who are interested in hearing someone are denied that possibility. Since heavy metal is so deeply rooted in anti-authoritarianism and has such a history of fighting against censorship attempts, I really thought that this idea was uncontroversial. I was wrong. Once the article was posted on Reddit, chaos ensued. Although it quickly became one of our most popular items, Reddit quickly blocked the discussion about it, after some users, self-professed supporters of the far left, threw accusations of fascism and that the article was somehow an apology of Nazism. They clearly hadn't read the article, but that didn't really stop them.
In the words of our old pappy, we're just ignorant, think we're happy.
The fear that I expressed in the article was that as a result of the boycott, of the bad press, of the misinformation about the festival itself, there would be a chilling effect on promoters when it came to booking more controversial acts. The economic consequences of a boycott are huge, and many will not want to risk one just by booking someone whose ideologies they either don't know or can't completely vouch for. We shouldn't be so willing to allow self-appointed ideological vigilantes to start crusades against those whose ideologies they despise. We've seen it before, and we've seen to what it leads. For every evil one you get right, countless others are falsely accused and ruined.
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
It's unfortunate and tragic that I have to teach this committee the basic principles of Americanism.
That's not the question. You refuse to answer that question. Is that correct?
I have told you that I will offer my beliefs, my affiliations, and everything else to the American public, and they will know where I stand, as they do from what I have written.
Stand away from the stand.
I have written for Americanism for many years, and I shall
stand away from the stand.
Fight for the Bill of Rights, which you are trying to destroy.
Take this man away from the stand.
We've seen it in metal, with bands like Watain, Moonsorrow, and Skyforger, all being falsely accused of Nazism, and all of them having their concerts boycotted. It doesn't help that regressive and Antifa groups constantly redefine terms like Nazi, racist, and fascist, so that in the end they get to be the sole arbiters of who gets to be boycotted and destroyed.
Everything is racist. Everything is racist according to me. Everything is racist in 2017.
This really reminds us of what the right has done when they redefine Marxists, socialists, or anti-Christian groups.
Although Satanism is more obvious in the lyrics of groups like Megadeth, Slayer, Venom, and Iron Maiden. In St. Petersburg, Florida recently, satanic symbols filled the air at this concert by Danish-born King Diamond.
We've seen it in Russia, where bands like Cannibal Corpse are not allowed to perform because they are offensive. We've seen it in the United States with bands like Marilyn Manson, Deicide, Watain, and Behemoth being boycotted, threatened, and even banned from venues because they are labeled as anti-Christian. Most recently, we saw it in Montreal last year in November, where Antifa groups used violence and fake bomb threats to oppose the appearance of the band Graveland. Of course, all of this ended in the cancellation of last year's edition of the Messe de Dorts festival. In all of these cases, we've seen the kind of otherization that we've seen before, the kind of discourse in which enemies are transformed into monsters against whom everything is justified, the kind of discourse that creates an environment in which the mere suspicion of being something, be it a communist, a fascist, a racist, a homophobe, a homosexual, a satanist, is enough to get you attacked. I know this because it has happened to me. When I was younger, I was attacked by a group of Antifa people who, carrying sticks and chains, decided that the fact that I was wearing an Air Force jacket meant that I was a skinhead. The fact that I had long hair didn't matter. They saw me from far away, they yelled something along the lines of "Get the Nazi!" and started chasing me. There was no heroic fight where I stood my ground and defeated these coward thugs. I just ran for my life and hid in a nearby store.
Sir, please! I'm just here to protest! Please! Stand down! Get out! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Here's a hint. When your tactics make you virtually indistinguishable from your so-called opponents, you really need to rethink your approach to life. Do we really want to make our ability to speak, to create, to share our ideas without the fear of not only government interference, but also of the threat of violence, be it all dependent on a group of self-appointed morality watchdogs, people who under the cover of anonymity will attack you and silence you?
It's not welcome and they shouldn't be coming to this kind of event.
Or, as anonymous as you can get when you advertise to thousands of your Twitter followers that you are totally an anarchist from the Black Bloc, constantly running away for your life in this post-apocalyptic hellscape. Keep it classy, Vice magazine. The freedom to express popular opinions does not need to be protected. It is only the right to express unpopular, offensive speech that requires and deserves protection. We cannot allow a bunch of coward thugs determine how, where, and with whom we get to enjoy this music that we love so much.